About. G'day, doggies fans, all things Bulldogs. How's it going, everyone? Showy 68's been waiting a while, and Kangaroo Killer is the suspense is killing him. Welcome to everyone, and welcome to you, Gas. How are you, brother?
I'm going good, mate. How you doing?
Oh, I'm really well. Is there a bit of a delay in me coming through, bro?
No, you were okay then.
Oh, cool. Cool. All right, so we've got 11 people on. I'll wait for a few more, but, we're going to talk about as much as we can. Just reading some mail of people saying they'll be gone soon. That's good. Obviously, we'll be talking about Big Bill Kikau. We'll see him in the background here. Look, there he is. Back to the two good-looking fellas. So how's everyone been? Let us know in the chat. Showy's very happy that Kikau's extended, and he thinks it's a really big year for Viliame. I agree. G'day, Bulldog Mike 75. Great to see you on the podcast, and welcome to Timmy. We hope he has a big year. G'day, Hussein. Let's trot, brother. Let's trot.
Hey, Timmy. Hey, boys.
Well, we'll talk about that, Kangaroo. We'll talk about that, brother. Me and Gas, we sort of haven't discussed much on this beforehand because we've been so busy. So you'll get a lot of independent thoughts, as you always do, but there'll be nothing sort of discussed prior about what we're going to talk about. So the agenda is pretty fluid. We're going to talk about Kikau. We've got Latu, Finau Latu. There'll be an article I'll be doing on him that'll be coming out, video as well, which I can't wait to do. And just getting closer to what's happening with the team, getting to Vegas. We're into the 80s now, Gas. Is that right? We're into the 80s.
Yeah, mate.
Really into the 70s.
Yeah, mate. It's coming down fast, mate. So we've been going through a few of the 80s grand final wins as well, 88, 85, 84. So, yeah, so I think we were 81 yesterday, I think 82. So we're 81 tonight. So, yeah, it's there's some good stats there coming in with them. So, and let's see if anyone can spot the new change I've made to the last few days. There's something different there. So if anyone can spot that, let us know. But, yeah, it's been good exercise. Always looking to improve it. Hey, Aki.
Welcome, Aki. And
Joby.
is your name Hussein or Husseini? Hello to you, though. Hello, Husseini. Hello, Hussein. Welcome. If you want me to say hello again, it'll cost you $35. Just joking. Well, sort of.
Hey, Hussein.
Welcome,
Hussein
Joby. Joby's driving home. He's had a big day on the tools, so he will be. He'll be listening and watching, and I'm sure if we say something though, he'll pull over and type if he feels the need. But I reckon he's making the long trek home, and we're going to make it easier for Joby. Yeah, we've said hello to you, bro. No probs. What's the difference between the playing fields in regards to the grass they use in the US to what's used here for the NRL? Good question, Timmy. We'll get back to you on that. Actually, I want you to go and research that for me and let us know. That'd be wonderful. Will Kicks play middle or on edge still? Another good question. We'll get to all these. We'll put them all together when we talk. I reckon we want to wait for about 30 people to jump on now. Oh, he's back. The Roo's back. Mad mix here for the big Roo. That's all I can say. Up the Bulldogs. That's right. And Merry Christmas to every to you as well. And happy holidays and great holiday season to everyone who's having some time off and enjoying their lives. Is Virgin going to leave the Bulldogs? I'm not sure, mate. Synthetics grass in the United States. So there you go. I'm not sure if it is a synthetic grass though, Jamie.
No, I think they use a Bermuda off memory, which is more like a hybrid. I think it's a hybrid type of grass. I think off memory. So yeah, So it's probably it's different type, but can sustain a bit more durability as well. So
because they just drop them in those, and they just sort of slide the field
they roll
in,
them
don't
on. I think they roll them in and out. Yeah, they can. Yeah,
they come in big, massive blocks. Like the field actually gets transported, and
they take the grass out so they can get some sun, and then they bring it into the field. So that way, you can still get some sunlight and grow, and then they bring it back in again. So,
oh wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've always run it straight, mate, and that's why I don't have any brain cells left, brother. Got hit in the head. Welcome to you, Rajesh. Yeah, I was almost going to get Cristiano on, but he's not here yet. He said he would come on one day, though, so I'll let you know. Oh, did he? There you go. We'll find out. Big Timmy's on the case. I've given him a mission. I've given him the mission. And he'll come back, I reckon. Just going to show you something just because it's about me. Oh.
Man down.
My son's military photo.
Hayden.
That's Hayden.
Well done. Well done.
Almost as good as being able to play for the Bulldogs or something.
That's it.
Look, I love him nearly as much as I love the Bulldogs.
Close race, that one.
Oh, you got Critter's trading card. Well done, brother. Well done. Champion. Oh, Jamie, I was in Ipswich today, bro. I was on Limestone Street delivering Christmas cheer to all the lawyers.
He's got his tickets. All done.
Got your tickets. Well done. I've actually reached out to the club, see if they want to pay for my tickets. I don't think they will, but we'll see how we go.
You don't ask, you don't get. Hey, Showy.
Welcome back. Showy, you were the first one on here. You're waiting so long you had to leave. Welcome to you. I definitely reckon, though, Jamie, for the Queensland games, we all arranged to meet up. We might not be able to sit next to each other because I think if you get pre-allocated seats and that. But, look, I'll be definitely going to the Gold Coast game as well. I'll take my daughter to that. I'm not sure if she'll come to the Suncorp games, though. But we'll see. She reckons she's she thinks that she's cursed watching the Bulldogs in Queensland. But yeah, I reckon us Queenslanders need to get together, and I've sort of already asked the club what they're doing in regards to Queensland because they are playing 3 games up here. There's no trials this year, so if we can get it as early as possible, information to let us know when they're going to do like a Members Day or something, because I reckon they'll only do it on one of the 3 days. They won't do it on the Gold Coast. They won't bother on the Gold Coast, but I reckon they'll do it for just one of the games. I don't think it'll be Magic Round either. So maybe it's the Dolphins game or the Broncos game. I'm not sure. But yeah, it'll only be one. I'm almost positive of it. Oh, well, you need to go and ask your parents, Aki, if you can go to Magic Round, bro.
Careful what you wish for, mate. Your dad's already working on that to take you out there, don't worry.
Fletcher Baker training well, I heard. Yes, well, I did his little clip with the song that Foo Fighters covered with the same name, with the Baker. Go listen, watch my shorts. Really good film, really good soundtracks. Oh, you put your granddaughter asleep, you put on the Dogs game for her. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's my problem. I'm like, I'm really tired, but I can't sleep. I'll watch some Bulldogs games. Next minute, I'm cheering like the game's live and there's points to be fucking won. Don't you find yourself doing that, Gas?
You want to find yourself deliberately trying to forget what happened so you can not know what's coming next. It's hard to do. It's not good when you got a good memory and you pretty much know what's going to happen and you're like, no, I wish I didn't remember. So you can enjoy it again the second time round or the 10th time round, whatever it is. Hey, what's going to happen with this YouTube? Are we going to still have these kids under 16 still joining us after tomorrow? What's going to happen with this for YouTube?
I don't another avenue? I think they'll just turn into adults somehow. I think they'll just turn into having some adult kids.
Yeah.
Look, I think the YouTube's ridiculous. I actually agree with Instagram, with Facebook. Get them off it. They don't get them off TikTok. They don't need that crap. But YouTube, they really can't. It's hard to be bullied on YouTube, is what I'm saying, and you don't have a messenger service on it. So comments are usually caught pretty well. I think YouTube, they can still access YouTube. They just won't be able to put comments on it or like or subscribe.
Yeah.
Unless they got an account, but they'll still be able to watch content. So, and thank you so much for watching everything. I really appreciate it. I deleted my drunken live that I tried to do when Tool were about to come on. Wasn't happening. Here we go. Timmy's found out for us. Mostly synthetic grass is used either Bermuda or Kentucky bluegrass in the US. Some hybrids can be used in the US cisgrass. In Australia, they use couch and Viliame Kikau.
Couch and Kikuyu, yeah. They use that on the golf course as well. But yeah, that Bermuda one is the one that they'll use over there, especially in Vegas. But I think apparently they roll it out, like the whole thing comes out. They've got like 9,500 ton setup outside the stadium where it gets some sun, then they bring it back in again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the whole field is there on like wheels inside a box, and it just rolls underneath. Like they open up a gate and it just rolls in like that. Yeah. Pretty cool. Dogs to win the comp in 27, says David Miller. Let's give him a star.
Hopefully 26 as well.
So Jamie got a call from the membership team today. So did you request them to give you a call? I know that some people can do that, and especially to talk about, extending things on your existing membership, which I'll probably do for Magic Round, but I'm just seeing what I can extrapolate. Well, I pay for a website and that costs money, but look, they don't owe me a cent. I owe everything to them. Like, let's get that straight off the bat. But look, what I've actually asked for, guys, is if there's any discount codes or anything like that I can pass on if they need to push things out the door or they want to get more tickets and they need to, sell a few more, I'm happy to help them out and stuff like that. And I'll do it for nothing because I'm always posting content. And I think some of the other podcasters might do that as well. So, Aki's happy about it. Yeah, I remember you from last week, Babel 132. Welcome. I think you asked me that last week, didn't you? Is that deja vu or what? I remember you now, Bob. We've got better drainage in Australia. Yep, go the cricket. There he is.
Indians aren't doing too well at the moment. Losing a lot more than they're winning.
That's because the Indian Premier League's destroyed the entire game. It's absolutely destroyed the game. It's very hard to prepare for Test cricket when people are playing all year round and they get so much money in the. I enjoy watching it, but I don't think it's helped. Look,
there's two ways to look at it because I think a lot of the Australians are playing in the IPL and all the other, like they play around the world. But I don't think it's that causing that for India's demise. I mean, they're losing at home as well on their own conditions. It's just, and they've got teams good enough to win. But I think we'll just focus on the Ashes. The Poms are struggling, which is good. The Aussies are on top, and we still haven't had our best team on the field. So that's all good news. Although
very good news for us.
Pulled out for the series today.
Hazelwood.
Yeah, apparently he's done his Achilles now on top of his hammy that he was just recovered from. So he'll be out for the series.
He's done his Achilles because all these things connect, eh? Like it'd be connected to how he was training to fix his hamstring, and that happens all the time. Has anyone considered starting Kurtman at 9? Welcome to you, Senator 20B. I've thought about it, but I don't think it's going to happen. There'd be quite a few injuries before they looked at that. Kurtman could play anywhere, but Kurtman's best position is off the bench when the sting's out of the game to come on, lift energy, lift tempo, and completely bamboozle opposition middles. That's what he's there to do. He can't do that at an 80-minute pace. He's getting older. I wouldn't rule it out past him, but look, 14's his position, and we're a much better side when Kurtman's playing at 14. I can tell you that much. Oh, they just rang you. That's good, brother. G'day. How you going, bro? Welcome. Oh, you thought it was a scam. Well, you can't trust anyone these days. All right, 36 of yous. Let's get into it.
You missed Henny Benny was asking up above a bit also if we've heard about Kikau, what he's doing in Fiji. I think he might be referring to the academy that Kikau's got.
Where's
Henny
that?
Benny.
Henny Benny?
Just underneath the Dogs to win the comp in 27.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, Henny Benny. Welcome to you. You blokes hear about the good work Kikau's doing in Fiji at the moment. Yeah, we did. I posted an article. I did an article on All Things Bulldogs Facebook, or shared an article, I should say. I didn't do the article. I even had someone raise that nothing against the Fijians, but we should be doing more for kids in our own country. And I just deleted the person because, seriously, like, why do people think this way? He's over there. That's where he's from. He represents Fiji. He's giving back to Fiji, and he's doing a toy drive there as well. He's got his academy there, which is named the Kikau Academy. It's producing talent. We're supporting the Silktails. You know, they're like a feeder club to us now. Great work. So the extension makes sense. Let's hear from you about it, Gas. What's happening with this extension? Like we said that he was offered a 2-year deal a couple of weeks ago. I think with the 360 thing, the manager was just going to hang off and wait and see, but the club's put the deal out. There's no stress. It's like he signed it pretty quickly, and I would suggest that the 10-day cooling off period or whatever it is over, and now it's been announced.
Yeah, I think it's a really good one for the Bulldogs, just that stability. I think he's one of the experienced players, and he's now starting to come into his own. He had a great season this year, 2025. I think for him overall, everything that he's doing with the Bulldogs and the academy and the pathways into the Bulldogs, all of that stuff, I think it just fits. I know that there was talk, you know, about other leagues and potentially even the Bears with him, you know, someone that, you know, might, and you wouldn't begrudge him if he went for the more money, etc. But I think he's one of the players that wants to really sort of finish what he started at the Bulldogs. And that's obviously, you know, for anyone, you know, a premiership. So that's sort of the next stage, you know, for him to really get that job done with the team that we've got now. He, you know, sometimes you get yourself into a position where you feel like you've done. He's already, you know, done that with Panthers, but now he wants to, you know, finish that off with the Bulldogs as well. So, you know, I'm glad he's staying. He's sometimes you don't really see exactly what he's doing on the field, but I think off memory, like, you know, he ran over 100 meters on average a game, and he was averaging about 26 tackles. And I think he led the charge downs in the NRL as well last year, which is, you know, it's one of those ones where, okay, it doesn't always help. Sometimes you get a charge down if they get the ball back, but if he gets the ball back, more often than not, he'll either go and score or give it to someone or turn the possession around momentum. But very good signing, very good defensive player, especially on the chase, you know, kick chasing when we've put a kick through and he just gets down there first, and everyone sort of feeds off that energy. And whenever he feels like it, he can get those offloads away. So between him and Carraz, when they're offloading, we're a dangerous team. When they're just, you know, running amok, it's really good for us. So great signing, intimidating player, but I still think we're going to still see the best of him. I still think there's more to come from Kikau. So I think as the team continues to develop, I think we'll see more out of him as well. So he's really fitting into his own skin now.
All right, so he's 30 years old. In April, he'll be 31, 32, in 27. So this will take him, he'll be 33 years old when this contract finishes. I think that he'll be very close to the end of his career by then with the way he plays and stuff. All I can say is Bill Kikau plays 100% effort from the time he starts to the time he gets off the field. This will be his 10th season in the NRL. So by the end of this, he will have completed 12 seasons by the end of this contract, which is really, really good. Obviously, 2023, he struggled, but the last 2 years put together, he's averaged, you know, he's got his defensive efficiency right up there last year, making 565 tackles, missing only 67, 103 meters. You know, back early in the day, he was making a lot more meters. The game his role changed. 97 in the last year at the Panthers, then 80 in his first year at the Dogs off 9 games, no possession for the boys, especially when he came back. Last year, 101, this year, 103. Had his best season as far as fantasy points go. Offloads a career high 61 last year. Less line breaks than he would normally make. making 5. Doesn't really have his meters there, which is annoying the shit out of me. Sorry, not that. There's something else I was looking for, but doesn't have his charge downs on this one, but he led the charge downs in the whole comp last year. So, look, stats wise, would like to get that winning percentage up a bit higher at the Dogs. 112, lost 11, but you also got to remember, he'll play in the games where we're missing origin players and stuff like that, and we're weakened. But look, that's just part of the reason. Look, I think Viliame Kikau is a really interesting player for me. Now, the question's been asked, did he get more money? I have no idea. Money's not been spoken about. I don't think we'll get any idea at all as to what deal he's on. I would suggest that the deal may be slightly more, and it would be in line with a bigger salary cap that went up after he'd signed his last deal. So if he was on about 825, I reckon he might be closer to 900. But do I think that's good value? I think he's getting paid at the top end of what he would be worth, not the bottom end. That's just my thoughts. But you've also got to understand that having him in our side is still a great carrot for if we want to bring anyone else to our club. People see how Viliame Kikau plays rugby league. He's non-stop from start to finish. He's big. You'd want to have him in your team. There's not a team that wouldn't want Viliame Kikau in it. He would make more tackles if more people ran at him. He goes searching for people to tackle. That's another thing you've got to look at as well. He's always applying pressure, as I said. These are attributes which, if he's still doing these things, I sort of thought, if you take me back to the start of last year, I'm sort of thinking by the end of 25, 26, we might start to see kicks sort of slow down a bit. It hasn't happened. If anything, he's sort of gone to another level as far as his intensity and effort goes. Does it always pay off? Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's overreach. I've heard fans say that as well. But when you're talking about good versus bad, the bad's there's good and bad with everything, as they say, but it's overwhelmingly positive for Viliame Kikau to be in our club. Now, what does that mean for youngsters coming through, like Logan Spinks, Jacob Preston being the Australian representative, probably the one that you would think is going to become the highest paid back rower in our club at some point? What does it all mean? It probably means that by the end of that 2028 season, Preston will be getting more than Kikau, is what I would be suggesting. And I would have no problem with it. So many positives to come out of it. You got any thoughts on that, Gas?
No, I'm just happy with the stability that creates around and the environment as well with the team as well. So for those other senior players, I mean, it could sway some of the other ones to stay as well down the track as well. So it's a good one to have up our sleeve. So, and I think there'll be a comment coming as well down further down. Obviously, when Critter's not there, he's our captain as well. So he's a leader in the team as well now. So he's an established, leader, as Timmy's saying there as well. It's very important for us to have those people. It's also what you see, what we don't see in the training paddocks behind the scenes. His effort is equally the same as he's on the field. He's running it hard, training hard. Everything, those levels are super high at training to get to the game days. So it's it really pulls the team along. So he's a good signing. I think he's a good signing for us to keep that stability.
Yeah, really good, man.
Bulldogs Nick saying VK has been great for the Dogs and don't mind. Yeah, don't mind the retention, but I'd be interested to know the monetary terms. Second row and a key position, but it's easy to fill. Look, it's an interesting one but I think for us, you can have a lot of good second rowers, but he's like Michael said, he's the kind of player that every team would have in their team, and I think I'd rather have him with us than against us, especially knowing that when he wants to, he can really turn a game.
I want to talk to that. When we're talking about when Phil Gould's doing his salary cap and if he was setting up a how-to guide for each club, which he basically does, but you've got to take into account a lot of things at the time. You're on the money there, Nick. You're on the money, but there's outliers in all sport. Mal Meninga at centre was getting paid pretty much more than any other centre in the comp. Gordon Tallis, another one who's worth a heap of money, probably could have got more than he got, actually. You had players and he never played middle. Gordon only ever played on an edge. And even Angus Crichton, whilst he's had his ups and downs, at his peak, he is an absolute animal on an edge. Frankie Pritchard was another one that we paid huge money on the edge. I think what became the problem is that we had more than a few. We were paying too many players on our edges to big money. Like we had great players like Andrew Ryan and Sonny Bill playing on the edge. They were both on huge monies, So how do you fit all that in? I think what it comes down to, you just got to make savings in other areas, and it's only a 2-year deal, which, the contracts have this ability of being, if he gets badly injured or if there's something that goes on, the club's good at working things out, But I would suggest that Viliame Kikau's getting what he could get at any club from the Bulldogs. Gus pays players what they're worth to us, and I think we need to keep established stars like Kikau in our roster until the other ones force them out, essentially. So he's not just going to get given if his standards drop, or if someone just goes to levels that are beyond him, he makes way. That's how it works. They might be on less money, but they will eventually get more money. I wouldn't suggest that Preston's contribution is more than Kikau's. Teams probably haven't respected Jacob Preston enough. And I'm not saying that they don't respect him, because he's been nailed a couple of times too. And he's also had a minor little dip in his role during the year, but he had that frustrating year with suspension too. So, and the year before with a bit of injury. But he finished the season off like a Australian representative class, world class, golden boot winner class type of player, in my opinion. He went to peak level in the finals, and he couldn't have done nothing more for us. And that's what we'll see from Jake over and over and over again. But from Kikau, he's just consistent. People need to understand that just because he's 116 kilos and he's built like bigger than Tarzan, it doesn't just mean we just keep throwing him the ball 20 times and have him trying to crush the opponent on their line. They're not robots. His main job is defense, aggression, speed at the line, pressure. And he does that better than anyone. With the ball, he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. There's lots of ways they can use him. And sometimes we may not get it right. But, hey, sometimes it's just because the defense is too good, or we just haven't connected enough through our spine to unlock him at the right time. But I think he gives everything he can, and I think he's a wonderful signing for the club. And even though I always go, I've sort of thinking, is that tank running out of fuel yet? Is it running out of fuel? That's where my mind sits. Well, right now it looks like his tank's running on all cylinders. He's always carrying injuries. Kick out, because his body is just utilised non-stop. So we'll see if they eventually catch up with him. But so entrenched in our club as a leader, as a guide, as a mentor now as well. That and he's also Phil Gould's favourite ever player. That's what Gus said. Who currently plays NRL, he's his favourite. So there you go. Have we covered enough on kicks, do you reckon?
Yeah, just touch up on those last few that are there, mate. So I think you've already answered that one, to be honest. He runs what he has to, and he also does some really good stuff getting the ball out to Cherry and to Montoya as well. He's got really fast hands with that bulldog play they call the hot dog, where they just tap it on to the wingers. It's a really good play, and he's very good at executing that. And he was doing it very well before as well to Josh Adokar previously as well. I think for this one, I know where you're going to go with this, Michael. I think nothing's going to change there. I don't think Todd's going to be a lock for now. I think Salmon is still our lock. I don't know why everyone's trying to replace him, and Hayward's going to still be the hooker. So I'm not sure what Leonidas is sort of chasing on that one, but I think Todd's more of a middle as well at the moment, rather than a lock in that position as well. So I'm not sure if you want to add some more to that, mate.
Look. Respectfully, I think that people just don't understand Salmon's role in the team, because when they do, the questions will go away. Look, if Jack Todd is physically, mentally able to go out there and ball play the way that Salmon can, because at this moment we still need our locks to do that, to create space for the outside men. We need a lock that is an absolute animal on the ground, that can literally find the weak point, the pressure point on the opposition player, and hone in on that area of their body, and drive pain into it and stuff like this. This is all shit that they're doing, right? Sounds a bit vulgar the way I explained it then, but where can I put my knee on their part of their rib cage to stop them from pushing forward? How do I stop their post contact? How do I hurt them off first contact? If I'm the third man in, what's my role to make sure we put them in the position of the field which prevents them from getting where they want to go? These are all things that Jamin Salmon is mastering. And until other players are doing that as well, and trust me, there's games where he hasn't mastered that because he's been carrying injuries or whatever. And the coaches know when it's not happening, and the leaders get ripped up more than anyone else in this club. There's no tall poppy syndrome at Canterbury, right? There's no free pass or coaches' pets. These players are the established players in the team that are leaders. You don't play well in reserve grade and get your shot and oust someone unless the team's going shit and those players are playing particularly shit. How many hit-ups they do is a result on what the team needs at the time and where the ball is and how well they've gone as a team at holding the ball, at executing their plays, executing their kicks. executing, not giving away penalties, all that sort of shit. It's a team sport. Jamin Salmon's the 13. If he doesn't start at 13 this year, that's because someone in the preseason has proven to the coach that they're going to do a better job than Jamin Salmon. And if that was the case, I'd say Jamin would absolutely bust his ass to get himself back into that side, which would only be good for the person who replaces him. Do I think he'll be replaced to start the year? No. But is there a chance? Of course there is. It could be Finau Latu. It could be Jack Todd. It could be they might go with a 3-prop system to start. They might put Leo Thompson's already got number 10 on his back, which I really like that because that meant Max King keeps his number 8 as the main man. And Thompson's got to sort of win that off him. Not that it really matters, but it does at some clubs. Jake Turpin will be trying to push Bailey Hayward to be the starting hooker and to be the number 1 hooker. As will young Patrick Young, who they've got in the top 30, will be trying to get his game going. So, look, so many different things they can do. Sean O'Sullivan will be trying to have a crack to get a position that he can get in the side. Look, it's all systems a go. Do I think there'll be a huge change to the team? No, I think it'll come down to maybe 1 or 2 positions we might debate. But at the end of the day, Jamin Salmon, for me, there's no reason I would change him from what he does unless someone completely outperforms him in the preseason. And they'll know, and they'll make the choice accordingly. Yes.
Yes. So Connor Tracy actually did, they put that stat up today, got the most run meters, return run meters from kicks in 2025. So I know Tedesco outgot him on the run meters by 50 runs or whatever it was. But overall, for kick returns, Connor Tracy, and if you watch him play, you see when he gets the ball, he just starts running hard straight away. Some blokes like to go sideways, look for something. He just gets it and goes hard, and he always can grab a few post contacts as well once he hits the line as well. So no surprise there. So for me, I've always said he's one of the most important players for the Bulldogs. And I know some people keep talking about who's going to be our fullback. I don't think you need to worry about who our fullback is at the moment. He's doing an awesome job.
Agree.
And the team did suffer when he got injured and post-injury till he got back to full fitness, as we've spoken about at length in the last few weeks. So it's very important for us to get behind Connor because he is a champion player and he's done an amazing job for us. And I don't think if the players, you asked them who they want at the back, they wouldn't say anyone else other than Connor themselves. That's how they feel about him as well.
I'll just go to Nick with this one. How many internationals were in our spine for Frank Pritchard? How many internationals were in our spine for Andrew Ryan? Luke Patton wasn't an international. Brent Sherwin wasn't an international. And I can certainly tell you that Adam Perry wasn't an international. So I'm not being a smart ass. I'm just saying it don't freaking matter if you got the balance right in the other areas and you're getting the value out of your team. It don't matter. I will say though, like in your defense, Luke Patton was behind 1 or 2 of the best fullbacks of all time, as was Brent Sherwin was behind Andrew Johns. Like so. I do get it. I know maybe in another era, all those players might have been international players. But who's to say that Connor Tracy isn't that good? Like he's had a really tumultuous run of injuries. And his game in that Manly game, like there was a couple of moments where he threw a couple of offloads, which ended up landing. They weren't knock-ons or anything. They ended up being all right, but I sort of had my heart in my mouth. But that Manly game, he was an absolute machine. But you know what a lot of people took out of that game? When he got held up. Because he's got held up twice. Oh, he needs to learn how to ground the ball properly. Okay. Connor Tracy has been in our top 4 best players on the field consistently since he started his first game at Canterbury. And I'd like someone to prove me wrong there, because I don't think they can. Yeah, he had a trial game where he's dropped some balls. He had a and then coming back after that injury, which was an intestinal friggin' injury that he couldn't get out of bed for 2 weeks. Fatigue is what makes errors in fullbacks. You got to understand that. Fullbacks make errors when they get tired, and they had to risk him getting fatigued so he would build that fitness again to be right for the finals. And I felt his games in the finals were quite good. So there you go. So look, Connor had the most average run meters as well. So he averaged more meters than any other player in the game.
Correct.
And it was only I think it was 24 meters behind Tedesco. And Tedesco played most of the season. Remember, Tracy missed 2 or 3 matches. So,
yeah. And Tedesco got the daily M.
Good call there, Timmy, on kick out, 100%. Yep, 100%, brother. Yeah, look, I think Jack's at that weight where he could be a really effective big lock, like a Patrick Carrigan, who you can put into the middle if you want, like put into the prop. But as that lock player, Carrigan's his team's better when he's playing at lock, put it that way. That means you got a pretty good prop in your side, you know. I see Jack Todd becoming that, but he's just got to hopefully get some luck with injury this year. That's what he needs. Yeah, a lot of people would start Josh Curran at 13. And look, if Josh does start at 13, I've got no drama with it. But that's another thing for Curran, because he puts so much effort in. He's a little bit like Kikau, right? He just tackles his ass off like his life depends on it, throws himself everywhere, and he likes to be involved. He actually wants to run the show if he could. He's a footballer. But as he gets tired, he starts giving away penalties. He starts, if he's doing that ball playing stuff, he's going to make a couple of mistakes. You rarely see Hayward and Salmon make mistakes. Rarely when they're giving the ball off too. That's another thing which barely ever gets mentioned. They barely make a mistake. They probably have one drop ball every 3 or 4 matches or something. And they're usually really surprised by it. It'll usually be in a game where they've just had to defend too much. What's Timmy saying here?
He's talking about the depth in our back row with guys like Jed Reardon and Logan Spinks. So if Kicks needs a rest and things fall into place for Preston playing for New South Wales, there could be some other guys stepping up as well. So which is, we're in a good position. Like you said, I think the key is this year. I feel like we've really developed our backup players, and we're going to be in a lot better position in 2026 than we were in the last few years. So when we do have some players fall over, we've got that next man up, but we've got someone who's at a level that'll keep us where we're at. We're at the moment, when our best team is not out there, we've got players to replace them, but we do feel like we drop that little bit of a ranking there in where our position feels like on the field, as a team. So I think that depth coming through is going to be vital, and that's what the best teams do so well. They've got that really strong depth, and whoever sort of comes in and out, they can replace them, and then they don't really miss too much.
Yeah.
So that's going to be crucial. So, yeah, Timmy, I think all those players that are coming through for us, and that's where Gus's job is, to make sure that he's spotting people, getting players and between him and Seraldo, who they're putting into the team. It's important. And I think as well, and I think if you go to the next one, your mate Joey's having a chat about Finau Latu as well. He's definitely got an opportunity, potentially to get into debut at lock for us. If he can stay injury free, obviously. So that's a good call there. But we've spoken about him for the last few weeks, that he could really be one of those players that pushes a spot in. And like you said before, Mick, if somebody gets in there and their form is so strong, it's going to be hard to get him out.
Look, I've been mates with Joey and moderator with his Facebook group, Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs supporters group. Go and check it out. It's got a lot of stuff on it. Joey watches Gus like a hawk, and anyone Gus starts talking about, Joey's all over it. He's like, oh, he might play. Like, it gets in his head. Because Gus is very happy, is what he said on Twitter, didn't he, Joey? About how Finau Latu is going. Look, I'll do a comprehensive article on him, because I've actually watched a lot of his footage and really done a deep dive into the guy. And, look, there's a reason Newcastle offered him a 4-year deal and we offered him a 3-year deal. He didn't even talk to the club he was with, which says something as well. He's a man, but there's a lot of competition. What people got to look at, everyone, it really makes me fucking laugh, and I got to swear about it. Everyone keeps talking about we need another big forward. How many forwards did we let go of this year? Can you tell me how many we've let go of, Gas?
Not many.
We got rid of one that comes straight away last year. Because his manager said his player, Tom Amone, has never been fitter. Yet he wasn't fit enough to
didn't make it at our level.
That's right.
He didn't cut it at our training. With what Seraldo was looking for, he wasn't. So if you're spotted like that early on, mate, they know about it straight away. It's not a good fit. They're not going to get it right all the time until you have the player in front of you and you train. You're not going to know. You can talk to everyone. The culture, everything else is right, but if they're not able to execute with us, it's not a fit. Our system, you have to be ready for it. If you're not ready for it, then you're not up to it.
So really, we haven't really let go of any forwards, have we?
Yeah.
So why are people saying we need another big forward? Like, what you want us to go and not sign Sean O'Sullivan and not sign Jonathan Sewer, and can we go get Tino for $400,000 or something? Like, I don't understand the mentality, and I'm sorry if I sound condescending, but open your fucking eyes. Daniel Saluka Fafita, Sam Hughes, Josh Curran are all still at our club. Harry Hayes is ascending. Logan Spinks is ascending. Lipoy Hopboy's joined the top 30. He's going pretty good. Jack Todd's there. Jack Underhill, he's debuting at some point. We want to know, well, we just got Finau Latu. Now, I know that pissed a lot of the juniors off, and a lot of juniors have left the club because they don't like it when kids come from the outside straight into our top 30, and their managers take advantage of that. Don't you worry about it. But we're not putting those kids in our system straight up if they're no fucking good. Like, they're good players. They're really good players. And trust me, if there's a junior in our club who our club thinks that can reach that level or has that potential, they're going to be getting the deal. So if you haven't got the deal, work harder. or there'll be a club that you'll go and take someone, a junior from their club spot. And that's what happens, right? Like Souths are really excited about a few of our players that have gone there, and so they should be, because they've come from a good system. They've all got good fucking hardworking families, and that's just the way the game works. But our forward depth has never been at the level that it's currently at since, 2011, 2012? It's been that long. And even some of the backups coming through there were sort of untested. We didn't know, but I'm very, very excited. When you're picking a team where you can't fit, where I actually can't fit Sam Hughes, Daniel Saluka Fafita, or Josh Curran in that side, I think our fucking depth is way better than it's ever been. And exactly what Gas was saying, we are positioned in the engine room to do better than we've done in a long, long time. It doesn't mean we go out and win every game, or it doesn't mean we have more wins or whatever. Other teams can improve too. But I think from what I'm seeing, Jacob Preston's now an international. Viliame Kikau's an international. Leo Thompson's an international. Max King's played Origin. Kurt Mann's played Origin. You getting the drift here? You're getting the drift, right? Josh Curran has been in talk for State of Origin as a utility type of player. Made camps, Indigenous representative and best player on the field 2 years in a row, in my opinion. We've got some bloody good depth. And that's just talking about the forwards, guys. So let's not write this pack off, shall we? We don't need to know one. We've got the players we need in our pack. We've got Oliver Smith just re-signed, played for Queensland under-19s last year. Huge future for that kid. Timmy mentioned Reardon and others as well. It's an absolute bloody bottleneck of talent and headaches about who's going to progress and who's going to leave. But what a great position to be in for our club. Get behind it, get on board, let's go. Like and subscribe. Throw money at me.
Can you imagine the competition that's creating at training? All those players knowing that it would be intense and it would lift the level so high. Like anytime you're playing in an environment where everyone's at a great level, it really raises your level as well. So I'd hate to think at what level that training is going to be on. And there's another player that you haven't even mentioned for a while. Still in the top 30.
Leon Mayo. Well, I actually was about to mention him as the other one after speaking about Tom Amone. Zion, I did a post on him. Like anyone doing posts on Zion when he come to Canterbury, we're getting like 5, 10, 20,000 views. And he's got so many highlights, playing on an edge mainly, playing union, playing league, just an absolute barnstorming type of player. And I spoke about him a lot last year, or this year actually, playing in Ron Massey, playing in New South Wales Cup. The timing and everything just didn't work out for the guy. Like, I think he would have been satisfied with probably 2 hit-ups in his whole season from what he can do. But those Warriors fans, most of them were distraught that he was leaving. Like, they're pretty excited about Halasima and a couple of other blokes that they've got ascending through their system. But none of them wanted to let Mayu'u go. It was sort of like, okay, well, James Fisher-Harris has come to the club and replaced Adam Fanua-Blake. So that sort of cancels each other out. Wasn't any real harder. But if he has a good preseason, who knows what we might see something coming from this guy as well. I've deliberately sort of kept it quiet on him lately because I want to sit back and see. But hopefully he's putting on as much pressure as everyone else. Saw him rock up early. I haven't really seen much of him, though, in the pictures and that recently, so not sure what's going on. But sometimes they keep some players under wraps, okay? I've got to get back to Tracy's very courageous and team first player, at least 2 near recons as well. That's it, brother. And Dreg, welcome to you, Dreg.
That's
Loved
right.
hearing Buller talk about Galvin's speed since training with Roger. Excited to see it in his game. Well, that's as I said last week, Dreg. He didn't look too slow when he's backing up and he's running away from. He scored 2 runaway tries for the Bulldogs. Go, Terry Lamb.
I'll let you take this one, mate.
All right. You go.
No, I want you to take this one, I'm saying. Because I know where you're going to go with this. Yep. So I'll read it out for you, mate. You can answer it. So the defence in the first 15 rounds compared to the last 12 rounds was a huge contrast. Just wondering what happened. I know we've been over this before, Senator, but I'll let Mick give you the rundown on that one, as brief as he can be.
Oh, well, all right. I'll take you through it. It'll take us about 90 seconds. All right. I'll answer it for you. We played St. George. Where did St. George finish on the ladder?
Bottom of the 8.
They finished 15th. Round 2, we played Titans. They finished 16th. Round 3, we played Parramatta. They finished 11th. They did all right in the end. We beat Cronulla, who finished 5th. We beat the Knights, who finished last. We had a bye. We beat the Rabbits, who finished 14th. We then lost to the Broncos, who won the comp. We beat the Titans, who finished 16th. We beat the Raiders, who finished minor premiers, but out in straight sets. We beat the Roosters, who finished 8th. We lost to the Dolphins, who finished 9th. Both teams missing heaps of players. 2 of our losses were during origin-affected periods. Beat the Eels again, who finished 11th. Beat the Souths again, who finished 14th. And that's our 15th. Now, in the last rounds, we lost to Penrith, who finished 7th, but made the prelim, and we lost to the Broncos, who won the comp. We beat the Cowboys, who finished probably 12th or 13th or something. They finished 12th. We beat the Dragons again, who finished 15th. We smashed the Seagulls, who finished 10th. Lost to the West Tigers. Probably the only really disappointing result for me all year. Beat the Warriors, who finished 6th. Lost to the Roosters. Now, I told everyone about this game. When Max King makes 30 metres, there's something wrong, right? We lose to every team in the comp that day. It's an outlier. You don't worry about it. Lost to the Storm by 6 points, who finished 2nd. Came runner-up in the comp. Beat a reserve-grade Panthers side. Lost a dead rubber to the Sharks. And then lost to the Storm and the Panthers. So, if we're going to talk about our for and against, it's pretty simple. In the first 15 rounds, we beat teams that were finished in the bottom, predominantly the bottom 6 or 7 sides. Played some of those teams twice. Versus the last 10 rounds, we played teams that, you know, were the top. We lost to every side that was in the top 4 in the betting to start the season. We lost to them all. And the Sharks, the Broncos, the Storm, and the Panthers. Okay? Outside of those, and we lost to the Roosters, which is an outlier. And I sort of see the Roosters and the Bulldogs, and I'd throw Sharks in that as neck-and-neck teams. Teams that can beat each other on any day. I see the Raiders in with us in that. Those other 3 teams are essentially the benchmark. And because we had to play those other 3 teams about 6 times in the last 10 weeks, that's why our for and against wasn't as good. Does that make sense? Your defense is and that comes down to, but there was also injuries. There's when you're injured, there's fatigue, there was origin hangovers, there was people with mold in their house, there was players who had 3 shoulder injuries at once. One player's shoulder had a grade 3 tear, as well as their rotator cuff was hanging on by 5%. Their arm was literally, their shoulder was hanging off the side. Their arm was hanging off their shoulder, and they went out there and played. Now, I know we should say, well, why aren't we replacing that player? You got to understand how it works. I'm not going to go into it. It's too hard to explain. But it's easier to keep a player going than it is to sort of give him a week. If it's a season-ending injury, but they can pain relief it, right, and they can manage it, it's easier to do that than to give him a couple of weeks off. It's too hard to manage. And that's for every club and every team, right? But that's as easy as I can explain it in layman's terms. How's that sound, Gas? Is that good?
Pretty straightforward, mate. If you can't understand that, probably watch it again and maybe you might get it the second time around, but you should be able to get it the first, I think.
Oh, thank you, brother. Curtis Moran was one forward who left us.
Yep.
And everyone was talking about we need another big forward. Well, I would say Curtis wasn't that big. He played a lot bigger though, didn't he? Was he?
He's got a big heart, mate. He's pound for pound one of the toughest in the club, but not a big boy, so to speak. Yeah.
There you go. Too many in front of Curtis. Curran played for the Prime Minister's 13, 100%. Spinks in his Australian schoolboy. So Spinks, Finau Latu, and Lachlan Galvin all played in the same schoolboys team together, which I did an article on that on Zero Tackle. So there you go. You should read it. The game against the Sharks was a great indicator of the defence we display at the set platform, given that performance was not assured every week. Yeah, I also think if you watch that Sharks game, they thought they were going to blow us away early. They gassed themselves out. We had some things up our sleeves, so we swapped. We played Curran on the left edge the week before against Para, and we were sort of really dour. We just went set for set with Para and just outlasted them. And it was like we were happy to do it. Never looked in danger, but held on to win. Para got a lot of confidence out of the match, actually, and actually helped kickstart their season. But the next week, Preston switched to the left edge, and and we ambushed them. Simple as that. I also think that Fitzgibbon was trying to... He got his side consistently into the top 4, top 5 over the last few seasons, and they kept falling away at the finals. And as you'll see, they sort of built into that season. They acquired Adam Finau-Blake, which was going to take time to adjust. And they had a really good final series. I can't believe, They didn't get there again, but they really had a good final series, did the Sharks. So they smashed the Roosters and then smashed the Raiders. So that's pretty good.
One other thing about that game too, Mick, that was very important. They had some very crucial injuries in that game, which go a little bit unnoticed. And we were the beneficiaries of that, and that's why they didn't have that depth, that they weren't able to, keep coming at the end of the game. That really took a lot of the steam out of them.
Well, it's the exact same thing that happened. They lost KL Hero before half time, and then the replacement, the big fella, what's his name? The bloody plays for Origin.
Yeah, I know you're talking about the big guy. Yeah, that comes in and plays forwards and
he plays forwards and centre. Yeah. Well, he got injured as well, so they were down to a 2-man bench, and they couldn't come back. And
so you lose 2 centres in a game. See the difference? Yeah. Big change when you lose your centres.
They had the perfect person to replace their centre, and then he got injured as well. Talakai.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and that's what happened to us in the last 3 games, 3 in a row. But no one seems to care. Oh, everyone gets injuries. Oh, you got to manage that. That's why the club tries to pick players that can play 80 minutes, that can play long minutes and keep turning up in defence. They don't give a fuck how big you are. They want to win a game of football, and they're prepared to play 80 minutes to win it with only 13 men left on the field. You know, that's the club. That's how our club thinks. You can't pick a team to foil everything that can go wrong, but you can pick a side which is a higher percentage side to pick in order to win a game of footy in many different ways. Especially if you believe you can execute a game plan that you believe will win. And Serrato's proven that time and time again. Time and time again. I don't even know if Taniela Odukulo is still with the club, mate. I have no idea. I haven't really seen much of the New South Wales Cup stuff. But I felt he did a pretty good job playing at 13 last year. His service is a bit rusty, but it's good enough. He's a hooker. Not the most skillful hooker, but I felt he was quite good playing that, ball playing lock sort of position in New South Wales Cup. He was tough. He was rugged, had good leg speed. Yeah. Fletcher Baker. Look, I've kept him quiet, but there is obviously a chance. I just want to see him come out and, you'll know if you watch him, if he's hitting the ball up in New South Wales Cup and he's making a huge difference and he can see it's just way beyond him, no problem. But he was playing Queensland Cup up here this year, and sometimes you wouldn't have known he was an NRL player. And other times you definitely knew he was an NRL player. But what I'm saying is that we've got to see this guy get fit, not have injuries, and fulfill his potential, because he hasn't done it yet. But he's come to the right place. If he's got the potential, he's come to the right place to fulfill it. I can tell you that right now.
Yep, the Bulldogs have signed Tom Galvin, Lockie's brother, Tommy. So he played, I think, Harold Matts in 24, but he's another tall, rangy sort of lock 5'8". So interesting to see what they sort of see with him. Yes.
Yeah, look.
I think we did.
I think the problem is the narrative. It's the narrative to simplify it. What I showed you is that there's a narrative that Canterbury just are lacking a little bit of experience in the class factor in key areas. And, it's hard to explain. It's very hard to explain. The narrative surrounding the reasons caused me a little bit of frustration, which is why I get overly passionate about it. They tried to say we ran out of gas last year. I think it's more of a case that I don't think we ran out of gas. I think our troops just got injured in really poor positions at poor times. It's just really hard to overcome losing your best player for a start. Okay? Not having Critter, basically not having Burton for the last game killed us completely. Even though he played, he wasn't there in the same capacity. So was that running out of gas? That you could use that analogy, but I just think it was we ran out of luck. We had no luck. We had no luck. Everything that could go wrong went wrong for the Dogs at the end. And now I think if we had a bit more depth, it would have helped us a lot. So our depth, while it's continued to improve, just hasn't. It's just not as good as some of the other clubs. Like you saw the Broncos, Adam Reynolds and Hunt got injured, and they actually played better. It went to another level. They were more free running in a point of a game that was becoming tight and sort of. Melbourne were probably a bit scared to play footy, and then when they tried, they were nullified. Whereas the Broncos were just playing with the wind at their backs, and
they had some luck as well.
They had some, of course, they did
against Canberra. Against Canberra, that was an unlosable game for Canberra, and they couldn't get the job done, and they got some crazy calls. I mean, if you look at the calls that the Broncos got in that game and the calls we got against Melbourne, we should have won that game. I mean, we got absolutely smashed with the referees in the first game of that semi-final, that Friday night. So we could have easily, won that game and had that week off, and who knows what happens after that.
Exactly.
So
that's what I mean.
It's fine line.
I make these comparisons to Canberra that they don't get enough scrutiny. And me and D, big contributor to the show and to Buzz 360 especially, and he does some articles as well. So, but we talk about Canberra, how it's like they get a free ride. It's as if no one wants to go there when it's a great place to go. It's cheap, blah, 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 blah. I've talked about it before, but they were literally, if Canberra win that game against Brisbane, I don't believe Brisbane make the grand final. I really don't believe that happens.
I agree.
And I think Canberra would have been a good chance to beat Penrith, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I also think if we beat Melbourne in that game, Melbourne then have to play Penrith in Melbourne. Maybe they back up and they beat Penrith the next week. You don't know. It would have been a blockbuster. And Canterbury would have been waiting for, we would have been waiting for Cronulla still. So,
yeah.
And who knows? And then the narrative changes. If they'd win that first semi-final against Melbourne, Buzz and everyone are saying, it was the right choice. Galvin was the right choice. Hayward was the right choice. Why should a W and an L depend on a whole fucking season? Like, it's idiots. Welcome to you, Atlas Astro. Are you Astro Boy fan? Astro and his mate Atlas. I love Astro Boy. All right, no one doubts Tracy's commitment and effort. I think the argument is he good enough to take us all the way? The Final Four had Walsh, Pappenhausen, Edwards, and Kennedy. I get your point. 100% get it. I think, look, Kennedy's getting paid less than Tracy now. That's the hilarious thing for this year. He's on $350,000 at the Sharks for this year, for 2026. I think Edwards wasn't in form last year. At his best, yes. Struggled many games. Pappenhausen wasn't as good as he's been. Had some great moments, but had some poor ones. Walsh is probably the man there. But what I will say, you take Walsh out of the Broncos, they don't win a game.
And then there was times last year when Walsh was out and Cobbo was playing. They're going, Cobbo's doing better at fullback than Walsh was. So, Walsh is inconsistent as well with the Rocks and Diamonds way he plays, but he just struck a, Jared Hayne, Ben Barber form at the end of the season and got the job done.
G'day, Amir. Welcome to you. You're a bit of a straight shooter, so I'm going to shoot it straight back to you. Mate, go and watch. He's got no X factor. Well, go watch some of the fucking games he played. We don't win the game against Para last year if he's got no X factor. And and in numerous plays where he's busted through. I think he's got as much X factor as Dylan Edwards. You know, Terrell Sloan's got X factor, but does that make him a better footballer than Connor Tracy? No, it doesn't. There's players with X factor, but that isn't a denominator of what makes a good fullback. I wouldn't say Dylan Edwards has X factor at all. I think he's just got hard-working principles, toughness, and a competitive side to him that doesn't want to lose. And I think Connor Tracy's every bit that player. Yes. If you want to talk about ex-player fullbacks, you would suggest that James Tedesco and Billy Slater and Ben Barber are an X-factor fullback. Walsh, I would say Kyo Week says that about him as well. But did Luke Patton have X factor? Many would say he does, and many would say that he didn't. I'm sort of somewhere in the middle. He made a lot of breaks. He made a lot of breaks, Luke Patton. He used to slide through a lot. Brett Hodgson, Darren Lockyer had X factor. It's not the be-all and end-all. And there's James Tedesco's best season was last year. You know why it was his best season? Because he was less involved. He didn't have to control everything. And he did his job. He played with a bit more preservation as well in some parts too. He played smarter, and they looked a lot better for it, which is why, again, they're going to be starting the year in the top 2 in the market.
They didn't have to worry about Captain New South Wales either.
Sam needs to improve his contact. I think they always land on their front against him. If Sam, mate, they land on their front against Marnie, against Hayward, against most of the smaller guys, even against Kurt Mann, right? Depends the time of the game. And it also depends what game it was and what was happening. But Salmon isn't if they're picking him out of the line, means we're not connecting properly anyway. Means we haven't managed the ruck right. The shoulder they should be hitting first should be the best defenders in the team. And Salmon is a good defender. But you watch Kurt Mann's barely the first man in the tackle. He's usually hitting second and smashing someone right where it hurts. And Salmon does a similar thing. I'm not sure about Damon Marshall. I need to find that out, actually. But keep asking me if I don't come back to you with anything, because actually I'm going to ask somebody right fucking now. Oh, I know. Well, no, I'm not telling you who. But take it over, Gas. What's it?
Senate is also saying Connor is at the heart on kick returns, defense, etc. But when he decides to be the extra man attack, it makes all the difference. Well, he's an ex-half as well. When he first played in the top grade, he actually came through the halves, even as a 5'8". So you can see his ball skills. I mean, I think there was a movie put last year where he put Carraz in the corner. He's got the skills and he's got the passing game. So a good half, can do that. And obviously, they go both ways. I think Lockyer started off as fullback and then moved into the halves. They can go both ways, but it's he's got the skills. He just doesn't get as many sometimes opportunities. But when he does chime in, he does have the skill. And I think this season, 2025, Tracy's output this year, the confidence he'll get moving forward, will keep growing with him as well. Because this is the year that he really cemented his position as a fullback. And I think he'll go to another level next year again. So you're watching Vegas, he'll start off. I reckon he'll even be our best player on the field in Vegas. So, so let's see how that goes.
Comes down to the little moments in an 80-minute game of football. And Jamie, thanks again, bro. I really appreciate it, mate. You're way too kind and absolute great comment as well. A lot of people put shit on our players and coach, but would you rather be where we are now or where we were in 2023, 2022? Let's even go to 2021, 2020. Do you want to win 6 games over 2 years, or would you want to be where we are now? You know, I saw, we'll talk about Joey O'Neill in a minute as well. Someone wrote, I can't wait till next year's AGM. Like they're thinking of trying to overthrow the fucking board because of a few juniors left the club. Like seriously, like people are just never happy. It's like, if we have 10 wins this year, that'll be great. Then they get their 10 wins, and then all of a sudden it's like, why aren't we winning the premiership? You're mediocre if you're not winning everything. Every loss is a failure. All this sort of shit. If the team goes out there and produces absolute rubbish, so be it. We all sat there and watched a team that was rubbish play fucking. Sometimes I'd be sitting there saying they tried their ass off, and people saying, "Oh, their attitude's not right, their effort was wrong." No, they were giving it. They were giving everything they had. They were just had no class on the field. They had no. The team wasn't fit. It wasn't cohesive. It wasn't working. They were just shit. But they weren't. But they were trying. They all tried. Well, we've got players that are more tougher, more resilient, more motivated, more competitive, better value. And the reason we've got that is because they went and got some good players like Josh Adokar, Matt Burton, Josh Curran. All these players that come to our club, players that wanted to come back to our club to prove themselves and have proved themselves. Jacob Carraz, kids that come from obscurity to be at our club and surpassed everyone who's there, like Jacob Preston. Fuck, why are we putting shit on players? Jamin Salmon is a Bulldog supporter his whole life. He's living his dream playing for the Bulldogs. He's a rough and rugged player, and he is fucking tough. And he has got a bit of arrogance. And his teammates love him. And this is what I say. If you think he's the problem in our club, and you think that he's Serrato's bum chum or some shit, go down to the training session if you're in Sydney and actually go and say it to his face, or go and speak to his mates and ask them, say, how come Salmon plays like he's shit? They'll fucking look at you like they'll just laugh at you like you're an absolute buffoon, because they know how important a player like Salmon is. And until we've got the depth where someone else can take his spot, he's going to be the man. But it was the same with Drew Hutchison. He served his purpose. People ascended above him because he was there setting standards around training, around attitude, around. He's got a huge skill set that he passed on to other halves. And he was one of the major players for reserve grade and mentors and stuff in the club. There's things these players are doing off the field as well. It's not all about playing NRL. It's a club mentality, club first. They're all in it together. And, of course there's some egos and stuff. Of course there's some people who get off-put by decisions that are made. Of course there's some broken promises. But at the end of the day, we're all in this together. Stick by the fucking team and by the club and stop putting shit on players. Rant over. Kalen Ponga, well, he might want to go back to the cubicle with Kurt Mann and to hold his hair up while he drinks his drink. Now, look, I don't know what's happening with if he comes to Canterbury. That would mean that he's proven to Serrato that he's serious about winning a comp with the Bulldogs, and I've got no problem with it. I think we will, but soon. Could be 10 years, could be 20, could be 5, could be 2, could be next year, could be this year, or next year, I mean. maybe they'll find, another 16. The rest of the top 8 were guilty of blowing the salary cap by $1 million. They lose all their points and we win the comp. Yep. It's been 21 years since we've it'll be 22 years if we win next year, Jamie. So fucking way too long. That's it, Heinzie. Very good point. Look, what Drew knew he wanted to do and what he tried to do were what needed to happen. It was just sometimes he would just run himself to a standstill, that he'd just be just off the pace a little bit. He made so many half breaks. And then when he'd make a break, he'd fucking pass it off and go astray. But look, I love Drew Hutchison. What a good player. What a good footballer. Just lacked a bit more speed. Go, Gas.
Timmy's putting it down also to the injuries against the Storm. 2 of our backline players, the kick out on the full by the halfback that everyone wanted, Sexton at the time, turned the game as well. Even for all the sort of calls we didn't get by the refs at that game, and it was sort of underplayed on the TV. We were there watching it live, and it was quite obvious what Melbourne was doing. And the ref it was the first, you got to remember, it was the first game of the semi-final, and the referee was trying to do this sort of put the whistle away type thing. And he just let them get away with everything, and it was pretty poor. We didn't get a penalty until the second half, and we scored off that set when Burton scored. So that's to show you how much, we weren't getting any yardage penalties. And that referee, with that performance, didn't ref another game for the season. So that tells you a lot as well. But, yeah, when you lose your 2 centres in the game, on top of all that, that was something that hurt us as well. But if everyone remembers, the players all wear those little trackers in their jerseys. The performance that we had in that game was the highest performance of any team in the NRL for 2025. So the effort, when you track heart rates and everything, that was the highest performance. So it was not from a lack of effort or anything else, just things didn't go away in the end. And obviously Kikau threw that desperate pass at the end there, trying to chase that lead. And again, that's after we didn't even mention the 2 points that they got from a non-penalty that kept scoreboard pressure against us. Yep. So, yeah, all these little things. Tackle. Exactly. All these little things, they count against you. You're playing over there, etc. in Melbourne, and they're going to get a few calls. But, you talk about the games that we played this year. I still think one of the games of the season is a game we lost. One of the games of the season. When Tracy pulled off 2 try-savers in that low-scoring game at Combank, 8-6 against Penrith. So, it's not always, like Mick said, it's not always the games that you win that define you. It's the games sometimes, you play, they will learn a lot more from a loss, and we could have gone for 2 points in the end there. Kick out, Critter decided to go for the try. We could have gone for the 2 points. He might have kicked that goal, got it 8-8 and started again from there. But they wanted to learn. They wanted to push themselves and execute something, and they decided to go for the try. So, that's the learnings that this team's at, and that's why I like what Critter's doing with the team as well. Like he's really trying to pull that team along to another level. And I think it's been a while, like Mick said, since we've won a premiership, but they're not easy to win. They are not easy to win. How long did we take from when we won? Was it 1940 to all the way till 1980? Like, it's a long time, for us. We've had some success since then, 80, 84, 85, 88, 04, and then, 95, 95, then 04. But since then, nothing. And it's just one of those things. It's not easy to win premierships all the time. Does that mean that every other year's been a failure? No. Yeah. Some of those years we've won minor premierships, but just haven't got the job done at the end. And we've lost a lot of grand finals as well in that time. We've played a lot of grand finals that we've lost. The Bob McCarthy intercept in 67, that's one that really hurts as well. So there's a lot of these games like that in seasons that don't just define, like Mick said, the W or the L. I think we're in a good place. And if for us to go through 2 weeks ago and try to name our reserve grade team, our New South Wales Cup side, and for Mick to forget 3 of our current NRL players from the New South Wales Cup team shows you where we're at in depth. Yep. And I think that's what everyone should be excited about. So we're building towards something good. Biggest crowds we've ever had. Took us till 2025. Record crowds, record supporters, Bulldog members through the roof. People, whether you like it or not, you're going to start buying the merch again. Doesn't matter. The logo is great. I love it. I think it's great. Jump on board. You're going to start getting that logo. That's going to be around until we say no. We've had a logo in 1995 that nobody liked. We had it for 1 year. We won the grand final. Sydney Bulldogs. That stuff happens, guys. Could be an omen. We have it for 1 year. We could win and move on to the next one. Who knows? You got to look at things like that, guys. That's how I look at it. So, jump on board, get your stuff. If you've got jerseys from last year, so be it. But everyone will be there in their colours and supporting. And I really think this year we can break some more records for crowds. So I just feel sorry. One thing for the guys that are going to Vegas, it's going to be Ramadan in Vegas, guys. So be careful over there. Don't go up into mischief. Just a side note, guys. So, yeah.
Very well put, brother. Really well said. I'll keep moving along. Atlas Astro says, with a Haas pairing settled on, should help Tracy for sure. Having Adam O'Brien should also add some more dimensions to his attack. Yeah, 100%, brother. And look, they know what they got to do. This side will definitely have some extra stuff that will learn. And I think O'Brien will be in his element assisting the Bulldogs. And having Jason Taylor with the New South Wales Cup team, I really think is going to help. The fact that, look, they had Potter there with Serrato in 23. Then in 24, Potsy went down to New South Wales Cup for the next 2 years. Brought Taylor into the assistant role. Now Taylor's gone down to the New South Wales Cup role. I think what it just does is it really helps solidify those expectations of what these individuals need to be doing to fulfill their roles within the system in NRL. And what Potter will now do is goes with all these youngsters and helps with them, bringing them into first grade and into reserve grade and all that sort of stuff from the juniors. So it's just the system that's in place will be really prevalent in our cup side. I'm expecting our cup side to thrive this year. I said that last year, but I think that was more off reputations, like just expecting there'll be a lot of NRL experience in that side for this year. Whereas what we'll see in 2026 is a New South Wales Cup team with a bunch of kids that have sort of had that experience because we've blooded so many who are really going to be playing at a much faster pace than what they were this year, and that a pace that they'll be wanting to set so that they can transition into NRL quality players. I think Penrith will be obviously hard to beat again. They're always hard to beat, but they've lost quite a bit of depth as well out of their side. So, interesting. In hindsight now, would you have left Sexton in when we signed Galvin? No, I think it was important. Look, the way I see it, they wouldn't have changed him if they didn't feel it was necessary. It's just the way it is. Like, Galvin didn't decide through his words or his contract or that he got to play. He was put there because the coach believed it was going to help us win the comp. And we didn't win the comp. Does that mean we failed? It's a long bow to draw. I think there would have been numerous successes which will carry us a long way, and there'll be some failures that probably needed to happen, and it's probably good they happen now and not later, is what I'm saying.
Even saying
very
that,
good comment about the ruck.
Yeah, even saying that for that last comment, what Galvin did against the Dragons, Sexton never did for us ever. In a dying moment to set up a try like that, at clutch. So the positives for me still long-term outweigh sort of, for me, if Sexton was going to be someone who, we wanted to keep and he was the answer to what we were doing, then he would have been, if not signed by us, snapped up by another NRL team. Now, I'm not going to count the Bears for now, but at the moment, he's playing in Paris or wherever he's gone, so Catalans. So for me, it's important that people realise that the coaching team had a plan with Sexton. He wasn't able to execute that plan in the game, each game. He was doing his job, but in our team, I always believe that we've got a team that was full of individuals performing as a team. Where other teams rely on that individual to be the superstar, our teams were always playing as a team and a whole bunch of superstars, which, if everybody remembers, every game we finished when we're all sitting there typing away after the game, who was your man of the match? It was never very obvious because our team all played solid and other teams didn't have. They've got some individual players. So we made Sexton look good because our team plays in a system that everyone comes up that level. It doesn't mean Sexton was the one that was setting up tries and doing all the magic that people assuming it wasn't him. So I know what you're saying. I know it was settled, but if you go back and align what you said now to what Michael showed you before about the top 40, the first 15 games of the year and then the last 12, you'll see another comparison there about that as well. So if you put that, but line it side by side. Thanks, mate.
Beautiful. And that just goes along with everything you were saying there. I believe O'Brien will do well with the pressure relief of the head coach. He was under a lot of pressure at the Knights with the Ponga drama, the wooden spoon, and his coaching role on the line. Yeah, 100%. And look, as soon as they extended him for 2 years, I knew he would be gone last year. Seems to be what they do. Either that or he just wanted to go to Vegas no matter what team he went with. Maybe. Do you think our depth has improved from last year where we struggled? I spent about 10 minutes explaining our depth in our forwards. We lost Curtis Moran. We got Leo Thompson. We've got all these kids with another year under their belt. We've got Finau Latu. We've definitely strengthened ourselves in the middle. We were a big man short last year. Now we've got surplus and we'll be dropping some come the end of 26. That's where we're at now. So, look, the Dogs are going to want to have a crack. They're going to put a lot of belief in these young kids. And the next Willie Masons, Roy Asatasis, and Sonny Bill Williamses are all on their way, people.
Amir, I'm not sure if you were here the first half of the podcast, but if you weren't, maybe when you get the chance, go back and have a look. We had a pretty good coverage on the depth as well earlier on.
100%. Damo, welcome back to you, Damo. Keen to see the progression of Serrato. We've now fatigued come September. The results prove that. Results don't look, Damo. Results prove what happened in a game of rugby league. I don't think we were tired. I think we played better sides that had better depth, that had better luck, that didn't get injuries. Now, fatigue may be a result of injuries. But yeah, look, we're out of contention in 2023. I don't put that down to fatigue. That's a lot of mental fatigue as well. The boys started 2023 on trying to change the culture. I would say they were fatigued from the fact that they believed they were going to win the comp, and they soon realised that they were nowhere near it. That's going to make you fall off the perch. The Knights were like the Dragons, the Knights. They were in a lot of games this year. They defended well in a lot of games. Had close losses in a lot of games, more so the Dragons. But as soon as they were out of contention, they just fell further down the ladder, and actually, like Dragons were a chance at making the 8, finished 15th. And the Knights, who weren't really a chance of making the 8, but was sort of somehow trying to fight on. But yeah, they just fell off and ended up coming last. So 2024, people are talking about the game against the Cowboys and the Sharks leading into the semi-final against Manly. I don't believe that at all. We were missing. We rested players in. I think Critter was missing from one of the or two of the games towards the end of 24. We had players that weren't playing, that were injured. Josh Adokar got done for drugs. There's a whole heap of shit. We debuted Jonathan Sewer and Eli Clark in a game. We'd already qualified for the finals for the first time in 8 years. I didn't think we fell off at all. And in fact, we still can't believe we lost the semi against Manly. We didn't lose due to fatigue. We lost because of a couple of stupid plays. Really, that's what it come down to. And as much as I tried not to expose it, everyone knows what happened in that semi-final and who overplayed their hand and who didn't and who let their team down.
They might not be at the club anymore.
Yeah, they're not at the club anymore.
Well, that's the other forward that we lost.
Last year, as I said, losing your centre in games. Critter was injured all season as well, so he wasn't just injured. He wasn't fatigued. He was injured all year, and had a couple. That was like why some games he could run untouched through the Raiders. But other games he was getting caught by front rowers. He had no speed at all. I wouldn't say it's a mental thing either. I think there was a lot of things that when people were talking about the chopping and changing of the team, they were forced, most of them, because of injuries. Montoya, Cherry, Hughes was injured. Salmon's ankle was fucked. Carraz was injured for the first 5 or 6 rounds of the year. Satili Tupanua's hamstring, both of them, and suspensions, and oh my God, like the list goes on. King was sick. Max King couldn't play footy properly for weeks. Connor Tracy had that massive injury.
Harry Hayes.
Harry Hayes copped an ankle injury. Chuala's leg just broke while he was standing there. We didn't fall away at all. Bad luck fucking happened. And as Gas just pointed out, in that game against the Storm, no team played at a level of intensity that the Bulldogs played at all year in the NRL. And we lost the match. So I think we undersell how well the team did to make sure that it banked points against sides that were on paper just as good as it. If I take you back to 2023 and I put the names of those players in our side, if I say that's going to be your team in 2025, do you reckon they'll win the comp or make the top 4 or lead the comp for 15 rounds? Do you reckon anyone would fucking agree with me? So let's go to 2023 and we'll say, okay, a team with Harry Hayes, Jacob Preston, Max King, fucking Jacob Carraz, who hadn't come on the scene yet, right? People would say you're absolutely full of it. I think we just need to just go, okay, we came third. The last 10 rounds, yeah, we didn't win as many as we lost, but guess what? We lost to some pretty good sides. The top 4 teams in betting, the teams that made the final 4, as it turned out, the last 4 teams were the 4 teams that were predicted at the start of the year to finish in the top 4. Finished in the top 4 officially after semi-finals. So, yeah. Look, I get the premise of the question, and there's parts of what you say, Damo, that's correct. But I don't draw that narrative. I've got a way different spin on it. I'm not polishing a turd. The effort our boys put out to try and win for us fans was phenomenal. I was proud of them every game. And, we'll just absolutely... I also suppose I do sort of find out from various sources of a few different people about some of the shit that we were dealing with as far as injuries, which you sort of can't talk about at the time. And that's sort of context that most people don't get, but most people just dismiss that as they're dismissive of it. Oh, everyone's carrying injuries. Everyone's doing this. Fuck everyone. All that matters is your team and what they're going through and what they've got to overcome. And we had to overcome a lot more shit than some other sides had to, and that's what happens. Teams that at that time of year that can have their best team on the park, that are all fit as they can be, they win the comp. And we didn't have that. I don't put that down to the coach or the coaching staff. I put that down to just a bit of bad luck and the game of rugby league. And you'll never beat it. You'll have a good year, you'll have a bad year when it comes to that sort of stuff. But no team wins the comp without their best players. Nathan Cleary was there every year. They won the comp. So was James Fisher-Harris, Moses Leota, Dylan Edwards. They were all there. None of them were missing. So, you need your best players there to win the comp.
You're only as good as your last 40, mate. We won our last 40.
That's it. That's it, brother. Front office seems settled and strong. That is where the winning is done. Importantly, the culture has changed, but they will need to improve again, and luck with injuries to climb further. 100%. Exactly what I meant. You said it in one paragraph, brother. 100%. Oh, Night Champion, Caveman Kevin, thank you for being a part of the club, brother. And joining All Things Bulldogs. Much appreciated. Yep. 100%. Yeah, I remember that. Edward should have been sin binned.
Yep.
We were gassed, brother. That's the whole thing. Like, we were gassed from the week before, too. That's it. Very well said, Timmy. Well, I've got something for gas. I haven't sent it yet, but I've got it all there now for you, bro. I'll be sending you something too.
Thank you, sir.
Now, guys, I'm starting a Patreon account, which I'll probably, like with memberships and stuff, probably eventually I'll encourage people to move over to that. It just means that if you're going to pay memberships, I'll get more of it. And I'll probably still be on both, but it's just a lot. Means your money actually doesn't, because YouTube take about 40%. But look, it's all great for me. Anything is 5 cents is, I think 5 cents is more than I deserve. But I think we can get a little bit more tighter in there as well. Some people have said good things about it with Patreon. And look, I'll have the ability to sell merch and all that sort of shit as well. So happy to do that for people. But I'll probably make some memberships where if people join it, they'll actually get some of that stuff for as part of their membership as well. So if they're into that, look, it's not the be all and end all. I might look at it and then not do it, or start it. We'll see what happens. I'm committed to it. I'm just exploring it, if that's what if that makes sense. Yeah. And look, Jamie's already thrown us an extra $10 out of his account this week, so I really appreciate that. Much appreciated. We've got a whole heap of people have joined over the last 3 weeks, which is fantastic as well. And hopefully that'll keep continuing to happen, and I'll keep doing producing the content for you guys. Atlas Astro, Critter Buster, Birdo playing with one show and a rookie Jeffro on that edge versus Penrith cooked us. It didn't help us. Didn't help us. That's right. Hit the like button. How many likes we got on here, guys? Go and like the hell out of it. Love it.
Yeah, you're going to keep supporting, guys. It's a two-way thing here, guys. We're happy to give, but it's always nice when it comes just to help Michael with everything that he's doing. All these platforms, they all cost a little bit of money. So anything that you can help him with just, makes it easy. And he's always looking at some things that are better for us moving forward. So it's support each other. It goes both ways. And, we haven't missed a week since the season's over where other podcasts are having honeymoons. We're still going. So it's all good.
That's it, bro. We're here. We're all here, and we're not even drinking beer. All right, people.
Richo's gone, mate, as we predicted last week. Didn't last long, although there was a bit of controversy about him leading up to that, so I don't know whether that contributed towards his decision or not. A few things there potentially about employing people that are related.
It's always the way, mate. That's why he's left.
Yeah.
That's why he's left. And that's why, they'll say it's because of all this other shit, because it's too easy. And he's got a pretty good name in rugby league. Like, they all love him. But, and they all know they all do a bit of that kosher stuff with family and friends in these places. Everyone gets a bit of a leg up and whatever else. But, yeah, I reckon he was told to resign, not the other way around, if you know what I mean, because they sacked Barry O'Farrell. He can say what he wants. But I sat there and did a massive article at the start of the year. It was probably my first sort of attempt. It was pretty long-winded and shit, a bit like me. But he fabricated a whole heap of shit to galvanize his club. And, that helps him. That helps the people that want to be there. He knew that kid Galvin didn't want to be at the club long term. And they put the club ahead of him and really put a target on his back, more so than he put it on himself. And it'll never ever get spoken that way. It'll always get spoken that it was his manager and it was him, and they sort of deserve the hate. Like the hatred that kid's still getting. Like if there's anything about him, you do anything on him, someone writes stuff, and it's like they see him and they would be happy if he died. Like that's the type of vitriol that's out there against the kid. And that comes from big fat fucks like Richardson, who've done more for rugby league than I could ever that I could even probably do for my own family. You know what I mean? Like, but he's a big chief bigwig who knows it all, who put a target on that kid's back or helped. And that's why I love Benji Marshall, because Benji Marshall went out and defended the kid. You know what I mean? And that shows you the quality of the person. Whereas Richardson built him up like he was the best superstar and of all time as well. You know, everyone talked about Gould saying he was this, that, and the other, right? Oh, Gould saying he's the best player ever, and that's questioning that. Oh, I don't think he's that good. As good as Freddie, better than Freddie. Like, fuck off, Brady. Like, but it's all right for Richardson to say that they've got the best fucking spine in the comp. They finished last for the last 3 seasons in a row. Buller, Galvin, Jerome Luai, and Appy Coruscant. I actually love it. Fucking it is. But do you reckon he would have treated someone like that if he believed they were the best? Bullshit. He knew they didn't want to stay. They made it fucking well clear, and he didn't have to go public the way he did. That was an action of a prick. But as I said, I think he was trying to do it for his fans, to sit there and create this culture of, you know, if you don't like it, leave. I love that, mate. I'm getting a bit fired up.
I never believed that what he actually had on the table as the offer was actually true. I think that was just to make Galvin look worse when he was going somewhere. I never believed that the offer they had for him was the case. The fact that they actually set an offer and put it out there was all fabricated, like you said, just to put, you know, make Galvin look a lot worse. I mean, he came to the Dogs apparently for so much less money, but there's no way they had something over $1 million for Galvin on the table there for a couple of years. I don't believe that. That was just their spin. That was just their spin, trying to make him look bad and his manager.
Yeah. Can we give the cod back? Nah. I love the cod. More cods. What did Hopewadi do? What happened with John? Was that which Hopewadi? John, Will? What did Hopewadi say? Is he on the here? Is he here?
I don't know which Hopper, but there's only one that's controversial. Will was too nice.
What's John Hopewadi said, bro?
But hasn't John Hopewadi isn't he in trouble with the law again? Hasn't he done some mischief again? He's always up to no good, unfortunately. He's always misbehaving.
What did he comment on, Jamie? I wanted to go. I need to know, bro. Seriously, I don't know what you're talking about, and I want to know. Leave a comment on the group. I probably need to go. My daughter and my partner are at Lady Gaga tonight, and I've got to pick them up. So, Gilly got in trouble.
The Axe.
Yeah, they're all bad boys. Tigers will be in the mix for the top 8.
I don't know.
Anyway.
All good, mate. I think you should get ready to start leaving, mate, so you can get your family back.
All right, brother. It's 10:36 in Sydney. You got to get up and go to work. So do I. Got a big day tomorrow. Thank you, people, for a really entertaining 2 hours of comments. And thank you to Jamie again for your beautiful contributions as usual. Don't know what you other tight asses are doing, but
and by the way, we were right about Katoa. They have sacked all of those medical staff that were involved. There was still going to be.
Yeah.
I said that to you a few weeks ago. There's something would come out of that. So they've sacked all of those medical staff not to ever be involved in rugby league apparently again.
Thank you very much.
That's a big call. Big call, yeah. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, great to see you. All right, thanks, Jamie. If we're not friends on Facebook, add me, send me a message. I can't remember. Thank you, Senator 20B. Thanks to all the contributors tonight. Jamie, Amir, Heinzie, Atlas Astro, Craig Geddes. Who else? Jamie, Senator 20, Amir, Aki, Timmy,
Amir.
And Nick and Dreg and Joey. Kangaroo Killer, Steve-O'd. And our first commenter was Showy68. And we also had the return of, what's his name? Big Roo. Big Roo's back. No Scotties. No Scotty Warren or Scotty Wood tonight. Oh, well.
Joby was around too.
Yeah, Joby was driving home, watching, listening. All right, people.
Have fun.
Have a good night, guys.
See you later. See you next
Go
week.
the Dogs. See you next week.
Doggies.
Go the Dogs.